my buddy Zach, he's like 100% positive, like, oh, he was killed. He was killed. There's no way. He wasn't. He was killed. But look, unlike Epstein, you know, I know the Epstein, he was definitely murdered. Unlike Epstein, like this part, like the McAfee, man, that's bizarre. This guy is literally saying, look, these people are out to get me.
Right.
They're coming for me. They've sent me messages. I'm not going to kill myself. I'm not suicidal. I'm perfectly sane. I'm not depressed. I mean, he's saying all these tweets. He's sending out tweets. He's sending out messages. And then as soon as you find out, okay, he's going to be extradited to the United States, within hours, he's found hung in his cell.
So what's your take on it? What do you think happened?
Well, I mean, first of all,
do you think he killed himself, or what do you think?
You know, I hate to say that. I hate to say, oh, he didn't, because I don't know. You don't know. Zach,
right, no, this is all speculation.
Right. But I mean, I hate those guys that rush to judgment. And it's like, you know, it reminds me of
yeah, but that's what podcasts are about. They're about being Monday morning quarterbacks.
I know, but I hate that.
They're about slinging
your
your ideas, slinging your opinion.
You know what bothers me? When I grew up,
whatever you say is a fact, Matt.
Well, it's not a fact. But look, you know, okay, when I grew up, you guys are probably don't remember this. This woman sued McDonald's because she spilled her coffee on herself, and she won like $5 million or something.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Because it burned her or whatever.
Right.
Hello?
I'm fucking real.
I'm doing a podcast right now on concrete.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yes, what's up?
Who
is that?
Boziak.
What's up, Boziak?
All right. Let me give you a call back.
All right.
Bye.
I feel like he calls you every time we're doing a podcast.
Does he? Did he last time?
Yeah.
I think so.
So the woman in McDonald's, this is the reason I feel like this is like the woman in McDonald's. Everybody went nuts. The media went nuts. They were like, "This is ridiculous. They're giving her all this money," and they made a snap judgment. That was the soundbite was, she drove through the drive-through, asked for coffee. She spilled it on herself. She sued and got $5 million. Now I don't know if it was 3.5. I don't know. So I'm just saying 5. You know, and boom. Isn't that so ridiculous? Like, how much did she get? $3 million.
1992, 80-year-old woman gets $3 million because she suffered punitive damages for the burns.
Right. So here's the thing.
It was dangerously hot.
It was not just hot, but dangerously hot.
Well, here's the thing. So you hear that, and that's the media, right? And you're like, oh, okay. You're like, that is ridiculous. Oh, come on, man. You spilled the coffee. What's the problem?
Right.
Then you go, okay, you know, how could a jury find that? Well, because the jury found that because the jury got all the facts. You didn't. You don't get that off the news. You don't know what happened. What really happened is McDonald's over the last 10 years had been telling McDonald's, you're boiling your coffee and it will cause, you know, whatever, 3rd, 4th, 5th degree burns. You know, people are complaining it's too hot, and McDonald's is saying, you know, we don't care. People like it hot.
Is it?
Right. So here's what happens.
Is it hot?
It's so hot that Is
it fuck?
It's so hot that that your cups and everything actually melt. Right?
Yeah.
So the tops are popping off. So some woman, they barely put on the top, they hand it to her, it drops in her lap, and she has to have skin grafts to do reconstructive surgery on her vagina.
Ooh, fuck. An 80-year-old vagina?
And which is already going to be hard, right? To deal with.
What's the point? No one's looking down there anyways. Let it fucking leave the burn scars.
So anyway.
It's better for the settlement if you get the surgery.
Got to get the surgery.
That surgery, yeah, that'll be different.
Now you know that McDonald's has known this is a problem. They've been told over and over again. They've completely disregarded it. This woman gets burned. Now what do you do? You know, now does she deserve to win and a good chunk of money?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And the punitive damages is it's not necessarily, hey, this is your pain and suffering. Well, what we're saying is,
what does that sound, bro? God damn.
It's my phone, but
Yeah, it's fucking ignorant.
What does that
backwoods
sound?
asshole
That's
over
like
here.
some old fucking computer
Oh
tone.
yeah, you know what? It's a telegraph sound.
Telegraph.
Like a-
That's what it is. Yeah.
Is that how they communicated with you in prison?
So
So
sign language.
So I'm saying now you look at it and you go, hey, if you had to have reconstructive surgery on your dick because McDonald's knew the coffee was too hot and that it was melting the lids.
They
and
were
they're-
negligent.
Right. They were negligent. Now do you think you deserve anything? And then it's like,
Hell
oh, well,
yeah.
yeah, okay, now I see.
Fucking right.
So, from the media, he was found dead. I don't know, but here's what really freaked me out. So I'm on the internet and everything, I'm watching all these videos about him saying, look, if I end up dead, like they find my body, he actually tattoos the whacked.
Yeah.
And he's like, I was whacked. I was killed. It wasn't suicide. I'm not suicidal. I'm doing fine. I've got friends here. I'm good. So then he ends up getting killed. And everything on the internet where people are just being able to report it, they're saying, look, this is insane. This is crazy. But when I watched ABC News, it was so benign. It was like, McAfee, what a life he lived. It was very controversial. He was implicated in a murder in like Aruba or something. I forget where it was. Belize. He was implicated in a murder. He evaded taxes. He was found. He was indicted for tax evasion. He was possibly going to spend the next 30 years in prison for tax evasion. He was caught in Spain, and they were going to extradite him. And this is what he tweeted just before, his body was found. And the tweet was like, I have no more Bitcoin. I have no more money. Something like, I love my family. I am at peace. His body was found a week later, hours after.
So they really painted the picture
and
for
I'm
you.
thinking to myself, are you serious? Did you guys just read is that the U.S. press release you just read? I mean, if you'd even looked on YouTube or anything else and looked at all this other, you're not even going to mention that he said he wasn't suicidal. He would never kill himself. You're not even going to mention that.
Right.
They don't. They completely went with like the party line.
Right, but we all know all that corporatized media, ABC, NBC, Fox. We all know that's owned by the government. They're all in bed with the government.
So
They're not going to go
obvious.
against the
You understand?
government.
It's not normally obvious like that. Like it's not that. Like it was so like you're literally. It was insane.
But that's the complete opposite on the internet, though. Everybody on the fucking internet is saying, "Oh my God, it's another Epstein." The guy obviously didn't kill himself. If you have half a brain and you can look up his Twitter account, you can see all his tweets, see his tattoos, see all that shit. Everyone was saying that like, there's no way this guy actually killed himself.
Right. I don't even know how. Here's the problem. Here's what my problem is. I don't even know how you'd kill yourself in a cell like that. It's it's.
But he wasn't really in a cell, was he? He was live streaming on the internet every day.
He was tweeting and he was still in
He was
cell.
doing podcasts.
Not from.
Yeah, bro. He had access to like a podcast studio. There was a podcast he did like a month before that.
I think there's video of him.
He's on Twitter every fucking 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how to me, I think it's very possible that he obviously had access to some kind of computer and he's tweeting or maybe a phone. I don't know. Look, Spanish prisons are not, at the level he was at, these are not harsh places. You know what I mean? These are not harsh prisons.
Right.
And they always make it sound like he's going to do 30 years. He's 75 years old. He's going to do 30 years in prison. What do you mean he's going to do 30 years? He's probably going to do 3 or 4 years in prison, maybe 5 years in prison.
No, if he goes to the U.S. and he gets extradited to the U.S., he's doing 30. Easily 30.
Just for tax
evasion? They'll fucking nail you to the cross, bro.
No, you do a couple years,
Okay,
right?
Look, yeah, absolutely. You do
For that much?
You'll do a few years.
This isn't just tax evasion. This guy said straight up, "Fuck you, I'm not paying tax."
I understand, but here's the
they might try
difference:
to stick it to you for that.
They'll say, let's say they say $20 million in tax evasion. Do you understand? They're saying you didn't pay taxes on $20 million. Okay, so what do I owe you? 6? Okay, well, if we'll make a deal, I'll pay you the 6. I'll do 5 years in prison. I'm out in 3 because I can take the drug program. I'm probably 2.5. I'm probably in a halfway house. I do 2.5 years. They're going to include the time that he spent while incarcerated already. While he was incarcerated in Spain. So by the time you get here, you're looking at 1.5 to 2 years, and you're out, and I pay the $6 million. So he's not doing. Look, they said I was facing 154 years. I was never facing 100. Yeah, if I went to trial and they stacked it,
Right, so the
Is
maximum.
it possible? I mean, yeah.
See if you can pull up any sort of like recent tax evasion case, like federal tax evasion prison sentence from anybody.
Because I've never been in prison and met people for
Yeah.
tax evasion.